Eric Bakker, the Naturopath. Thank you for coming back to my channel. I'm from New Zealand, and my online channel, as you can see on YouTube, formerly called Candida Crusher, and now it's just called the Naturopath. So let's talk about hormone balancing for a little while, okay? Would CanXida help balance my hormones, since an unhealthy gut is responsible for so many issues in the body? Would it also be possible, if we worked on the gut, that we could help to balance our hormones? Well, that's definitely a possibility. There are many, many different factors that account for, hormones becoming imbalanced. Many different factors. So it's not just a matter of saying, if I take, XYZ, supplement, is it going to help my hormones to get back in shape again? What you've got to understand is there are hundreds and hundreds of hormones in the body. So far, I believe they've discovered almost 180 hormones. So no doubt there are many more to be discovered. So to make a statement, can a supplement balance a hormone? I'm not so sure about that. But there are many different angles. Nutritionally, you can really get the hormone system in a lot better shape. To begin with, we've spoken so much on this channel about diet. So lifestyle and diet are first and foremost when it comes to getting your hormones in a balanced shape. So what do we mean by a balanced shape? Well, let's have a look, for example, at the female hormones, estrogen or estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. There are various. So, but the main sex hormone balancing occurs, at various parts, obviously, of a woman's cycle. Some hormones are going to be up, some are going to be down, and also depending on her life. Certain times of her life when she's older or younger, there can be a greater or lesser amount of hormones. What I've always found is very advantageous for balancing hormones is getting the gut and particularly the liver in really good shape. So the digestive system and the bacteria in the gut, as we know, regulate immunity, but they also regulate hormones to a high degree, particularly neurotransmitters. We know various hormones like dopamine, for example, and serotonin are a higher amount made actually in there than actually up in here. Now we know with the sex hormones, most of them are made, the ovaries, the testes, those sorts of areas. But the gut does play a very critical role in balancing these hormones. And the liver even more so with breaking down hormones, breaking down residues of hormones, recycling hormones, using components of old hormones, excreting waste materials from broken down hormones. So it's important that the liver is in very good shape. So you'll find that large people, obese people, or people that are very underweight often have a hormonal imbalance problem because they haven't got the right amount of body fat, or they've got too much body fat. So body fat has a balancing effect, for example, on estrogen progesterone ratios. Men that have got big beer bellies and very obese often have testosterone problems. Many of these guys have erectile dysfunctions. So just by having a correct sort of body size alone will allow your body to regulate hormones to a much, much higher degree. Try to maintain the same body weight you had all your life through, give or take a few pounds here or there, but that's a critical criteria, in my opinion, if you want to balance hormones, just as much as eating the right kind of food. Eating a takeaway meal consistently is not really a good way to balance hormones, because you're not giving your body the precursors for making sufficient protein in the body. For example, eating the wrong kind of protein, eating the wrong kind of fat, going more for a pro-inflammatory diet than anti-inflammatory diet. All these things affect the gut and of course will affect your hormones. But how does CanXida come into it? Well, CanXida cleanses the gut, it nurtures the gut, it helps to keep high levels of bacteria that are not so good more in balance with the more beneficial bacteria. It helps to eradicate excess yeast from the body. So these sorts of things are very, very important when it comes to balancing the immune system, as I've mentioned, but also many of the processes, that happen inside you that ultimately lead to good health stem from the digestive tract. So of course, the healthier the digestive tract, the more likely that the end targets, for example, all the organs and cells that require nutrition, they're going to get their needs met. And if you meet the needs of the body, it's going to thrive optimally regardless of what part of the life cycle you're in, whether you're just still beginning or right at the end. Optimal nutrition will do that. Optimizing gut function is something that naturopaths have always maintained right from when naturopathy started many hundreds of years ago, long before medicine even took the gut seriously. So yes, CanXida can help. Indirectly, it can certainly help with balancing hormones, but it's got to be part of a good protocol that you put together for yourself in terms of body movement, like exercise, sleeping properly, eating the right foods, breathing properly. All these sorts of things all build up to give you that balanced hormone picture that you're looking for. And did I mention stress? Stress is one of the key reasons why so many people can't balance their hormones properly, is because they're so stressed out. Thanks for the question.